you are insanely busy, as you also play, three
Mm,
kids,
Mm.
dogs, diving in deep seas
Mm.
and running
mhm.
marathons. That's a lot of things happening here.
Mm.
So, but you still also a very relevant in the community. What made you stand out? You decide that I will keep doing this
Mm.
to share with the community.
I think that goes back almost 25 years when I went into the IT.
Mm.
And initially, I started programming, doing some front end stuff, but I hated that. So,
Mm.
and then I moved more towards the backend and databases, and I really love that. And having some programming knowledge and database knowledge, I eventually in 2005, so let's say 5, 6 years of my career in, and encountered BizTalk Server as a product. Also having some affinity with networking and security and of course, messaging as well. I kind of embraced that product, but I can also easily understand the product.
Mm.
Already having the traits of being able to program and having database knowledge.
Mm.
And then it was just a pretty easy stepping stone getting to the BizTalk world. And I found out I was pretty good at it as well.
Mm.
And I liked it. And that's important too, right? You really love, you're at some point within IT, it's very broad that at some point you're like, yeah, this is what I really like.
Mm.
And it happened to be integration. So also to do with business, with processes and stuff. And I like processes. I
Yeah.
try to understand them and make them work.
Yeah.
And then and BizTalk is also a pretty good tool for that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you start blogging about it, and then ultimately at forums you start answering questions. And then at some point, Microsoft thought, "Hey, this is a person who does a lot of work for the community and helping other people out. So we think he is valuable. So
Mm.
let's make him an MVP." And that was in 2010, and then I started speaking on stage, and I was afraid to be on stage, but I thought, "Hey, to get over that fear, you need to be on stage." So
Mm.
I did that. And yeah, going forward, you start meeting other people, people you know from the community, which is fine as well. And then, yeah, because of meeting people and interacting and mingling with people, yeah, got you into where I am today. I still love it. So,
But
But
I need to ask. I mean, you said that you realized 5 6 years in that you both loved it, but also like you understood that you were good at it. How do
yeah.
you remember what was the key? Like, I actually understand this better than other people. What was that?
Um, I think maybe the database part predominantly because I was very into databases. So I started programming, but I also was a database administrator and I wrote like tons and tons of SQL code and of course installed it and understood the whole database tree and everything underneath it. So because of that understanding, I think because it's a myriad of things, right? It's not just a database; it's also tech, Windows services, XML code, all that brought together
Mm.
and I just understood it and
Yeah.
because of that understanding because it's a myriad of things, right? It's just not one thing.
Yeah.
Also having to install it quite frequently, so there's so many facets on it, like different things around BizTalk, and
Mm.
I just got the hang of it. So and then I thought, hey, I can do this well. So
Yeah. And then you started to blog about it, but that's also a question that I'm interested in. What made you actually start thinking that I can actually contribute and I
yeah.
think I should start blogging? Because I mean, I guess that a lot of people have that fear of what do even I why can I contribute? But if no one does it, then no one does it. But what made you do the blogging and start typing?
Well, because back in the day with BizTalk, there wasn't so many information out there. So I thought, I just write some stuff down that I have experienced or try it out. So
Mm.
and there were some other BizTalk people like Richard Sirota, Stephen Thomas. Back in the day, my heroes. I didn't know him. I knew them later on in life, became good friends. But yeah, just add stuff to it. Going forward, of course, the BizTalk books came, right, and more information became available. So then that burden of finding information became less and less. But initially, it did. And that was so. That's why I thought, I might as well chip in and join in and bring some of my experience to the table. Yeah, so the only thing back in the day was writing. There was no podcast, there were no YouTubes, there was nothing.
No,
yeah,
it's
I
It was
remember
just blog.
when I started to learn about BizTalk, there was nothing, and that wasn't long ago. It was just 2015.
Yeah.
I didn't know much about BizTalk and integration back then, and then it was really hard to find,
Yeah.
even
Hmm.
with the books out and with some blogs,
Mm.
but it was not that easy.
Mm.
I even wrote a BizTalk book myself, BizTalk Server
Really?
20 book. Yeah,
Yeah,
How many books did you sell?
I have no clue. Until today, I still get some royalties, and that
Oh,
allows me to buy a coffee once a month or so. But hey,
you celebrate your book by spending a coffee. Maybe those ones are,
still,
yeah,
it still sells after 15 years. So
yeah. That's cool. I mean, even as you said, I
mhm,
mean, now there's blogs, there's podcasts, but still,
yeah,
I am the one that actually picks up a books once in a while because I like reading
hmm,
by the book
yeah,
also. So yeah. But I wanted to dig a bit deeper in the. I mean, you've been blogging. We've been seeing you on several stages.
Mm.
I've seen you in Stockholm. I've seen you in
yeah.
London, and I know that you're traveling a lot. Can you like name the top three places that that you were at because of your blogging and speaking and your contribution to inspire the community to actually start contributing?
Oh, I really enjoyed being on stage in Australia at one point. So
Mm.
that was Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane,
Mm.
and later on also Auckland.
Mm.
But I also spoke like for Technorama here in the Netherlands, and I was on stage right in my own hometown. So I was the only local speaker. So I was like speaking 500 meters from my home, versus Auckland being 18,000 kilometers from my home. So
Yeah.
I spoke in distant places and I spoke in very close places. So
Which was the strangest one, if you can name it?
that would be, well, Auckland in one way, because you're at the other end of Earth, right, or of our planet, and then you're just speaking to a whole different group of people and culture and everything. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.